What's good, people? Big deal here. Perlabish just dropped another update for your favorite game, Crimson Desert, and I'm here to give you all the information you need to know. I'm going to go over a brief summary of some of the most important changes, and then I'm going to go through the patch notes line by line. If you want to stick around for that, that helps me out gratefully with the channel. If not, I get it. I respect your time, so that's why I'm doing the summary. Either way, I appreciate you for watching. Let's get into it. All right, first up, they added a difficulty setting. This is for all of you people who complained it was too hard. Now's your time to shine, baby. They got easy mode. They've reduced damage taken by the player, reduced maximum health, aggressiveness, and overall speed of opponents, extended timing windows for parry and dodge, reduced the frequency of bosses attempting to counterattack or escape when hit. They kept the normal mode, which is the mode you've been playing on the whole time. And then for people complaining it was too easy, it's also your time to shine. They got hard mode. Food item effects won't be applied immediately and will only take effect after the consumption animation is complete. They increase the damage you take, increase the health and aggressiveness and overall speed of opponents, reduce the timing window for parry and dodges, reduce the invincibility duration for roll, increase the frequency of bosses attempting to counterattack or escape when hit. They added additional combat patterns for certain bosses, so hope you guys enjoy it, because I sure will. All right, next up we have storage. Brand new storage options that everyone has been waiting for. They added 4 new different storage chests. They have the sturdy gatherable chest that you can store materials. They have the collectibles chest where you can store things like books and quest items and such. They have the cuckoo cooler and the enhanced cuckoo cooler. And in here you can store food items and ingredients. Then they have the outfit storage feature added to the wardrobe. And this you can store all of your armor. The maximum slots for all of these end up being 1,000 overall, but you have to build up to that. Feel free to pause the video right now and read the descriptions. But I'm quickly going to show you how to get these. All right, now let's quickly go over how to get these new storage chests. 2 of them are from Quest and 2 of them you can purchase. If you go into your journal, go to Faction Quest and go to Hernand Requests. I automatically had 2 new quests here. I'm not sure if there's prerequisites somewhere. One of the quests mentioned House Roberts and the other one mentioned House Midler. So I'm assuming they're tied to that somehow. If you don't have them, maybe progress those quest lines and they might open up for you. Now, the invitation of the workshop gives you the cuckoo cooler, and a friendly encounter gives you the collectibles chest. And also, if you look on the map here, you can kind of see that's where they are on the map. Now, the next 2 chests, which is the wardrobe and the sturdy gatherable chest, can be purchased from furniture shops. The sturdy gatherable chest is tied to the Hernand furniture shop, and the wardrobe is tied to the Delicia furniture shop. Now, if you already have affinity with these 2 areas and have the contracts, you can buy them straight from the Gray Main Camp as well at the furniture vendor at the Gray Main Camp. Now, I just want to note that the wardrobe, you need to buy multiple. Each one you buy gives you about 100 storage, and they're all linked together. You can go up to 1,000. The sturdy gatherable already comes with 1,000, so you only need 1 of those. The collectibles chest also comes with 1,000 slots. Now, the cuckoo cooler only comes with 40 slots, and the enhanced comes with 330. You can craft multiple to get up to 1,000 slots total. All right, next up for the house. They now have multiple different house types. If you go inside, hit the menu option, you can change what type of house you want. They have compact, standard, spacious, and once you move to Payloon, you'll have a Paylonese house as well. You can see here they all change. Just switch them. You can have whatever type of house you want now. All right, next they added birds as companions now. They can be your pets. Now, when I first logged in, I got this item called the Sade of Bond. Now, it says you get this through a quest. I'm assuming I already did the quest, and that's why I got it when I logged in. I'm not sure exactly where you do get it, but it is a tool. You could probably purchase it. Now, what you're gonna do with this is you put it down, you fill it with food, and then it attracts birds. And this increases their trust. And once their trust is at 100, you can claim the bird, and now it's your pet. Seems pretty easy. Now, I did see there's some legendary birds you can catch. There's bald eagles, there's a phoenix. So this should be a lot of fun, and I'm glad they added this because I really did want birds as my pet over dogs and cats. Now they also added 5 new cat types you can catch, as well as an abyss hookling. I'm not sure what that is. I don't have any video of it. I didn't spend much time in the abyss. Now, in addition to that, we can also rename our pets, as you can see here in the video. So that's cool as well. All right, finally in the big updates, they added new categories to the inventory. So now you can just cycle between all equipment, food, materials, documents, or other. That way things are separated out for you a lot better, and it's a lot easier to manage. I love this update. And these are pretty much the biggest things that they updated in this patch. But now I'm going to continue with the patch notes. I'm going to go through everything else that they released in this patch. If you're still with me, I appreciate you for sticking around this long. Now let's go over everything else that they added. All right, they improved the housing mode related UI and controls. They added a function that allows all furniture items placed through the housing mode to be retrieved all at once. They improved the Greymane camp. I'm not going to read this because there's spoilers. They improved the observation feature so that abyss artifacts can be earned when observing a skill that had already been acquired by using abyss artifacts. What this means is if you use your abyss artifact, you gained a skill, but then you learned it in the wild. Now your abyss artifact is returned to you and you don't have to reset it. They also improved the following items, which were previously unstackable and now stacked to the inventory. This is the abyss gear, insects, fish, and animals. All right, they added a constabulary in the southern part of Hernand and the eastern, western, southern parts of Demonis. So for Damien, they added a new exclusive one-handed weapon, the Sword of Starlight, which can be obtained through a quest. Cliff and Anka added 2 new one-handed weapons, Tree Branch and Sturdy Tree Branch. These items can be obtained by cutting down trees and bamboo trees. They added a new tool, which is a sturdy broom. For Cliff, they added the new Bathian armor outfit, changed the name of the Rakaya plate helm and Bathian plate helm, and improved it so that it can be equipped by Cliff. Added a secret shop in Pororin where pet equipment can be purchased. Added additional outfits to certain shops, including the back alley shop. Improved the Cuckoo flame resistant armor and ice resistant armor, so now they can be dyed. They added various ores and wells across Highwell. They reduced the amount of attack and defense gained from equipment reinforced with grindstones and anvils. They fixed issues where the cloud cart could not be called. They also improved the cloud cart so that it can be used as a permanent mount. They changed the cloud cart's crafting mission so that it can only be completed once. They improved the prices of goods sold by Greymane NPCs so that they are bought at a 10% discounted price. So now everything you buy at the Greymane camp is 10% cheaper than if you bought it anywhere else in the world. They added livestock vendors across Pywell. Livestock such as cows, pigs, goats, sheep, ducks, and chickens can be purchased from these NPCs. They added 13 new tattoos for characters. They added a lock function that prevents selling or discarding of the selected item. Now I did look for this, but I couldn't find it anywhere. They improved gathering and mining so that the quality of items obtained is applied consistently. They improved resting in bed so that the player character gets up immediately afterwards. Improve NPCs to show a wider variety of reactions to their surroundings. As part of ongoing visual improvements, replace select 2D visual assets to better align with the game's art direction. In the mission dispatch menu, the dispatch and repeat mission buttons have been separated, allowing selection between performing a mission once or repeating it. Now for controls, they added a preset feature for both keyboard, mouse, and controllers. The original controls are available via the classic preset. More detailed controller customization will be added soon. They added a feature where the interaction key is pressed. The corresponding action is performed immediately. For keyboard and mouse, this feature is located in the settings, input, keyboard/mouse customization, can be used when the UI interaction section does not overlap with the keys in the default input group. If the keys overlap, this section will be highlighted in yellow. For controller, this feature can be used through the default settings in settings, input, controller customization. They added the evasion control and switch roll and evasion input options. This feature allows you to choose between either the original double click press option or the hold option. Enabling the switch roll and evasion input option switches the controls for roll and evasion. They improved the controls for aiming. They added a function that allows you to turn your lantern on and off while aiming. They improved the control so that even when a weapon is drawn, pressing aim while there's an interactable target nearby will immediately switch to a aim instead of guard. They added the using skill element option. Selecting quick slot option allows you to use the selected element assigned for each individual input. They changed the controls for the vault. Vault can now only be used by pressing jump while performing a different attack. Changed all interactions so that they are executed continuously while the button is held down. Keyboard and mouse and controller, the dismount/drop and cancel key buttons have been combined. So for keyboard and mouse only, they expanded the range of customizable key bindings. For keyboard and mouse only, they changed the escape key used while under status effect to match the evade key. For controller, they improved the map so that it can be opened by holding the DualSense touchpad or the Xbox controller's view button. All right, next let's get into combat and action. They adjusted the overall balance of bosses. They changed bosses so that they are no longer immune to player attacks while performing powerful attacks. They adjusted the latency at which bosses counterattack or escape while being hit consecutively. They adjusted the attack pattern of certain bosses, increased damage taken from elemental status elements, slightly reduced the damage dealt when hitting enemies with the pillar or trees, added new charging stages of Force Palm Pulse. The skill can be charged up to 3 stages with damage increasing progressively. They improved the overall speed of examine when examining items. They improved the speed of pushing or rotating objects during puzzles, improved follow-up attacks so they connect more quickly even when the initial attack is blocked. Change blinding flash so that it can also be used in areas where weapons can't be drawn. Change blinding flash so that it can be used towards the target currently being faced during combat. Improved attack chaining after using dodge during unarmed combat. For Cliff, they added a skill weapon throw usable while dual wielding. This ability can be used with the same controls as Shield Bash. Weapons can be retrieved by pressing the same control or by approaching it. For Cliff, they improved the attack speed of Force Palm. They fixed an issue where the parry action after Garden would not trigger when a non-sword weapon was equipped at the primary weapon. Fixed an issue where charge would not be used with certain weapons. They improved the force current so that Cliff no longer falls from ledges when using it. For Damien and Anka, they added the skill Ambush. They also added a skill that has the same effect of Cliff's focused Force Palm. For Anka, they fixed an issue where Anka could not move horizontally during vertical flight. They improved Anka's blaster so that it can be fired during flight. They fixed an issue where scattered shot could be used even without bullets during back hang. They improved examine so that it can be used in your inventory while mounted on a horse. They improved the brightness and detection range of the miner's lantern hat so that it can more easily identify gatherable ores. It can now identify stone as well. Changed the healing effect displayed on target affected by healing Force Palm. Fixed an issue where the lift interaction became unavailable when a restrained target fell into water. Fixed an issue where stamina would recover when repeatedly drawing and stowing weapons while moving. Fixed an issue where sprinting, swimming, and some other actions could not be performed while riding the Marnie's mecha horse. Fixed an issue where the character would get stuck in certain situations while operating mechanical devices. Improved spears and longswords so that their attacks flow more naturally during combat. For Damien, they improved the quick reload so that in addition to being acquirable by skill observation, the skill can also acquire with Abyss artifacts. All right, for UI fixes and improvements, we already talked about the categories for the new inventory. So we'll move on to improved the inventory's UI so that grouped icons will show an icon with the representative image of that group. This feature may be turned on or off in settings, play, show grouped icons, and inventory. They separated the input options for ungroup and ungroup all items. They added filter/search function to the map. They improved the map and mini map so that icons are displayed for obtained memory fragments. After memory fragments are obtained, lanterns will no longer display a detection signal. They added a feature that allows players to choose the shape and color of map markers. They improved the map to display the stock status of shop items for shops with whom maximum trust has been reached. They improved the map and mini map to display well icons. They improved the mini map to display north, south, east, west. Cliff, Damien, Anka adjusted the layout of the skills menu. They improved the faction quest and challenge UI to show the number of quests and challenges available. They improved the journal so that reward item information can be viewed. They added a UI display to shops that show how many of an item that player owns. They improved shops buy menu to display the conditions required for purchasing deactivated items. All right, next we have graphics and settings. They improved the rendering quality of distant objects and textures. The higher the graphics setting, the more enhanced the detail and visual clarity will be. They fixed an additional issue where background objects that should only appear under certain conditions were always visible from a distance. They improved the visual quality of characters at long distances, improved hair lighting and shaded areas, improved errors and flickering related to displacement mapping, added a max size for the subtitle font size setting, improved to maintain the camera's distance to the character, then adjusting the visual range, added a colorblind mode, added a chromatic aberration option, added a photosensitive mode, improved the quality of AMD SFR, Intel XeSS 3.0. They fixed an issue where actions requiring rotation of right stick, such as nature's snare and reeling in a fishing rod, did not function properly with an Xbox controller when the enable Steam input was enabled, reduced stutter during gameplay, added a Metal FX denoising upscaler option in the settings, fixed an issue where switching between multiple displays under settings video did not work smoothly, fixed an issue where the game would launch to an unintended resolution when using certain displays, improved HDR quality and allowed HDR to be enabled by default for the Mac preset when using an HDR compatible display. Fixed an issue where the screen appeared excessively dark when disabling HDR after it had been enabled. For stability and gameplay, they changed the load menu to display a notice in a slot if the save data is corrupt or invalid. They fixed an issue that caused the game to crash if HDR was enabled on a monitor that does not support HDR. They fixed several stability and crash issues across PC, console, and Mac. For localization, they fixed various localization errors and improved localization quality across all languages. Now finally, we have others. Tumbleweeds have been added to the desert regions. They fixed an issue where the display weapon setting was not applied properly in certain cutscenes. Fixed an issue where the target location would display incorrectly when a bounty target quest failed. Fixed the bounty system so that the player's bounty is too high to turn in a bounty target. Bringing the target to the constabulary will trigger an arrest state instead of a handover cutscene. Improved comrades' behavior so they do not attack bounty targets. Fixed an issue where after completing certain quests, tracking of the subsequent quest did not trigger properly. Improved the journal to indicate whether a quest target has been dispatched on a mission. Improved the progress display for cumulative quests such as To the Rescue. Fixed an issue where the game would occasionally close when trying bosses as Damien or Anka. Fixed an issue where the character's switch menu became available after completing a stage that automatically switched the player's character. Fixed an issue where teleporting via the map while mounted on Black Star caused Black Star to become invincible or unable to move. Fixed an issue where Black Star would not move when summoned from a distance. Fixed an issue where an item was displayed incorrectly when reading a memory fragment with the lantern. Fixed an issue in the prologue where enemies would not recognize the player after the player rested in a bed. Fixed an issue that caused the infinite loading screen to appear if the player was caught cheating at duo as Anka. Fixed an issue where NPCs were unable to pick up items they had dropped after colliding with a player. Fixed an issue where some outfits looked unnatural depending on the player's movement. Improved the display of the horse cargo so that it no longer overlaps with shields. Fixed an issue where audio did not play properly in certain situations. Fixed an issue where a certain Payloon merchant NPC would not appear in some saved files. Fixed an issue where the mission would fail if a bounty target was killed after being captured. Fixed an issue where trust would not increase after giving a gift to the boss of the Beggars Alliance. Fixed an issue where the effect of the items Golden Bear and Sage's Eye did not apply properly. Fixed an issue where relevant knowledge was not acquired after interacting with the Payloon militiamen. Fixed an issue where the knowledge of Tristan the Flame Knight, Marnie's Mechanite, and Dreadnought cannot be acquired. Fixed an issue where Greater Abyss gear cannot be sold. Fixed enhancement materials, crafting materials, and reinforcement levels that had been set differently from the equipment material type. Fix various other in-game issues. For known issues, please check below. All right, guys, so that's everything. I try to get through it as fast as possible. Hopefully the summary in the beginning helped. And that's going to be it for this video. I appreciate you if you stuck around this long, and I'll catch you on the next one.